Hey, Ari, brother, how's it going out there?
What's up, Foti? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. Uh,
So right here it's like 90 and muggy. I hear some rain up there. What's going on?
it's been a beautiful New England summer day where it's become extremely hot and humid, and then all of a sudden it converts to, overcast and rain, which, obviously that's nature for us up here.
Is it
So
cooling down or is it like still hot?
it's still on the warm side, but unfortunately, don't mind the pitter patter that you hear in the background. It's kind of refreshing for me because I've been out in the sun all day doing yard work on this Fourth of July weekend,
Nice.
and it's been pretty exhausting being out in the sun. But now that I got to finish and sit down, this actually feels pretty good. So hopefully the pitter patter isn't annoying enough. But
No, it's fine. But you said you were in the sun all day and
yes,
this is refreshing, but we're gonna talk about something even more refreshing.
yeah. Obviously for us, it's always rewarding after a hard day in the yard to quench our thirst with some kind of great alcoholic beverage. So, beer's a little too heavy for me when it's really hot out. Same thing with wine. But you know what? Lately, I've been really digging hard seltzers.
Hmm.
And, you know, hard seltzers, believe it or not, have been the hottest thing in the last couple of months lately. Even though hard seltzers have been out for a couple of years, just recently, it seems that everyone that I know has been discovering hard seltzers, and it's a thing now. I
So
mean,
let me ask you this. I've always been a seltzer drinker, like regular seltzer, which I love because I stopped drinking soda. Um, I like drinking alcohol, so that to me it seems like it's a natural uh, progression of drinking
sure,
some of those hard seltzers because I always worry about the sugar, I always worry about carbs, I always worry about all this stuff. But
that's just like all of us do.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, personally, I'm a Tito's and soda drinker with lime. That's
hmm.
my go-to drink during the summer, and it's light, it's easy, but obviously vodka is still high in alcohol. But they've come out with this approach to making refreshing, easy drinking, low alcohol, low sugar, low carb beverage that really kind of fits when you're not looking for something that's too much, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, it totally
Um,
does.
you know, not to, again, we like to enjoy and have drinks and discover new products, but like here we are. It's a Sunday afternoon. Um, you've put in some time psychologically. You're relaxing. You kind of want to treat yourself a little more than usual. And if you start early, yeah, you can have some light beers. You can have some bubbles. You can have some, white wine, but it still catches up to you. But
Hmm.
I find that hard seltzers, even though we use the word hard, it's because there's alcohol in it. Really kind of keeps the flow going. You get a little bit of that essence of feeling good, but it's not too heavy, and they're definitely they're flavorful and they're refreshing. And I think this is a genius invention, in my opinion, when it comes to enjoying a beverage, an adult beverage.
Hard seltzer for me is almost like one of those things that's too good to be true because like like I said, everything else I drink, I'm like, oh, I shouldn't
Well,
drink too much because of this, or I shouldn't drink too much because of that. But the hard seltzer's like, there's really nothing stopping me. I'm gonna drink like 50 of these. What am I?
right, right. Well, yeah, that's the thing. Sometimes we're kind of skeptical, like you just said. It sounds too good to be true, and how is that possible? Well, you know, there's technology and the advancements of production have allowed these innovators to come up with the next best thing, using different processes that eliminate a lot of the um, processed approaches or additives and chemicals, what have you. But um, lately, we're starting to see that they can experiment with natural sugars, how they actually produce and ferment products that will make it a lot cleaner. So not to get too geeky and technical, what I'm trying to get is that we're moving into an arena where products are able to be made in a very natural process.
Okay.
And obviously we're consumers now that we're fully, to some extent, cautious about, what we put into our bodies, right? And how often do you look at the label when you pick up a product, whether it's food or whether it's beverage? The first thing I do is the second I look at something, I immediately go to the back of the label to see what's in this product,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Calorie count, sugar count, carb count, and then I always like scroll down. If the ingredient level has more than 2 sentences, then I'm like, oh, that's iffy for me, right? But no, I got to say that 2 years ago, when I saw the hard seltzer product enter the market, I was like, oh, here's another gimmick. And, people were kind of wary. It wasn't as in demand as it is now. But I think,
I think I remember the first time that I ever had it was at your place,
right.
and you had like, I don't remember what it was. Do you remember what it was? What the
Yeah.
brand?
So at that time, 2 years ago, there were two brands that are still popular. So we were actually experimenting with a brand called White Claw and Truly.
Oh man, I don't
So
remember.
those were the two brands that we had at the moment that were available in the market, and they had like a handful of flavors, and it was, I think it was summertime. We were
Yeah,
out in the
it was summertime. It was
patio,
hot out.
and we
I
were
was
just
calling them back, man, and
we were just like,
yes.
we gotta slow down here because this is a little too easy. But
I think that's exact quote because I think I remember I was just pounding them, and we're like, wait.
so yeah, so 2 years ago we were actually kind of introduced to the hard seltzer world. Now it's like everywhere I turn or anyone's house I visit, there's like cases or stacks of hard seltzers
Yeah.
available. And I get it. And I think that's great that we're able to have this kind of product. So, I get the question often enough, like, what is, how does seltzer become alcoholic? So there's a lot of different ways that you can actually convert seltzer into having alcohol in it. Um, some brands use um, wine yeast to actually convert it into alcohol.
Interesting.
Some use sugar cane to convert their seltzer water into alcohol. Some use malt to convert their seltzers into alcohol.
Yeah, because they have the thing on the label, the malt liquid.
Right. So, I mean,
Not all of them are malt. You're saying.
no, not all of them. So, for example, like White Claw is sugar cane. Same thing with Truly. The folks that we are big fans of over in Everett at Night Shift, they launched their own hard seltzer line called Hoot, and they use wine yeast to actually produce their hard seltzers. And everything's personal preference, but I just find that the flavor and the profile of the Hoot seltzers for me are like right on. Uh,
So the flavor. Let me ask you this. I've had many hard seltzers. I haven't had the Hoot, so this will be the first time. But seltzers, the flavor of a seltzer is so what do you call it?
Too sweet?
No. It's so subtle.
Oh yeah. They're
What's like a big difference in flavor? Like one's
well.
cane, one's malt, one's wine yeast. What? How does the flavor change?
So it's all on your personal palate. So basically, here's the thing: there are folks that actually prefer one over the other. There's no one better production than the other. It's all personal preference. So they each individually have a little bit of a distinct difference in texture and flavor. But for me personally, I prefer the wine yeast seltzers because of the way that they taste. Um, there's folks that
But as far as ingredients go, none of them have sugar. None of them have
right.
calories.
So
Or maybe they
let
do.
me backtrack that. So they don't have additional sugar.
Ah, okay.
So they definitely have a presence of sugar, so it gets, you know, sugar, yeast converts into alcohol, right? So you need the sugar there, but when it's fully produced, and the final product is that they have very, you know, small amounts of what's known as residual sugar,
Oh,
right? So the big thing behind the marketing in these products are they're basically sugar. You know, there's no sugar. I'm not gonna say sugar free, but there's almost like less than 1% of sugar in these.
okay.
They're gluten free. They're also low in calories. Like most of these are under 100 calories for a 12-ounce serving. Um, but there's no additional sugars or synthetic sugars to help manipulate the flavors. So,
Okay.
or actually to enhance, you know, if something is wild berry, if something is pineapple, they don't add anything additional to enhance that flavor. And as you mentioned, the flavors of the fruit here are very subtle, but you want that. You want, if you're going to drink a seltzer, the last thing you want it to do is to taste like juice,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So, you know, these guys got it down to science. So in this segment, in our sipping session, we chose to try a production from Night Shift. Night Shift's lineup of seltzers called Hoots. And we're going to try the blood orange mango,
Yummy.
right? Which I think is appropriate for this time of the year where it's, you know, hot, humid. Uh, and I think this will go down pretty good. And as you noticed, as we're pouring this, still rather clear.
Yeah.
There's a tint, there's a tint of color here. Almost look like champagne.
Yeah, it
But
does.
even though it's blood orange mango, it's not dark, right?
Yeah.
Well, let's give this a sip. Cheers.
Cheers. Refreshing.
Refreshing. So definitely still tastes like seltzer.
Yeah.
And on the finish, I get this faint essence of the blood orange and a slither of mango. It's not, it's there, but it's also like not in your face there.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Right? But this is perfect. I mean, this is basically uh, what is needed in a day like this. I mean, this is the beginning of July, so I think we're gonna have, you know, another 8 weeks possibly of, you know, really New England hardcore humid summers.
Well, you know what? I miss New England so much because when we started the video, it was raining, and now I see the sun behind you.
Right? There you go.
A true New England day.
So, and plus, you know, we're very limited to where we can do right now and where we can go. So, you know, I'm going to pack my cooler on my patio and just kick back uh, on the deck here and sip on what I think is probably some of the best options for this kind of weather.
Yeah, man. This is good stuff, and it's refreshing. And, you know, like I said, I've already been a big fan of Seltzer. The other brands that I've tasted, I like. This is great. We gotta go over to those guys and have a
Yeah,
chat.
yeah. Shout outs to Night Shift, which we're big fans of. But I mean, you know, we're living in times where, at least for us, you know, we're always, you know, spending a good amount of time in making sure that what we're picking up and buying, um, you know, calorie count, sugar count,
Yeah,
what's in the ingredients, and these guys are doing it right because this fits the mold of today of what we're trying to accomplish as eating clean and drinking clean.
yeah, absolutely.
And they're inexpensive too. I mean, um, most of these products range like $10 for a 6 pack, less than $20 for a 12 pack. So I mean, that's right on. I mean,
It's to me. I already said it. Too good to be true. If I wasn't drinking it, I wouldn't believe it.
so make sure you have plenty of these at your house when I come over.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. All right, cool.
Excellent.
Great stuff. Good to know. I'm glad you broke it down because I didn't really know how the process was. So that's pretty interesting. Um, And yeah, I mean,
You
perfect
know,
summer drink.
we're definitely going to continue to report on trends, and outside of the wine world, there's definitely plenty of other introductions to the industry that we feel are worthy of letting our listening audience be a little more informed. And
Yeah.
like you said, Ari, breaking it down, that's what our goal is. We want you to continue following us, watching our segments. We believe that you'll get a little more out of it than just reading something online,
Mm.
and hopefully we make your purchasing experience a little better.
I think we do. Cheers
Excellent.
to you, my friend. Thank
Cheers.
you so much.
My pleasure.
And
Until the
we'll,
next segment.
until next segment. Cheers.
Cheers.